Hare Krishna. Om Gyan Timram Gyanam Chanchalanataya Chakshuram Vedanye Smai Shri Gurave. So we are discussing the prayers of Narada Muni to Naranarayan Rishi. This is in Bharata version. And one important thing is that we always want to, uh, by hearing such prayers, we discussed this previously also, we are changing fundamentally our understanding of reality. So there is a great change of reality that happens when we start hearing the prayers. So without knowing, and that's the most important thing is we should try to understand the meaning of prayers. So that is the most important thing. What happens is very clearly it is said by Sukadeva Goswami that Dashamasya Vishuddhatam Navanam Ivalakshanam Shrutena Arthena Cha Anjasa. So he says that all the nine topics of Bhagavatam are meant to explain the 10th topic, and the method that is used is Shrutena Arthena. So by Shruti, by stories and by prayers. So this is why prayers are so important. And we'll find the whole Bhagavatam is full of prayers compared to other literatures. If you take Mahabharata, other Puranas, we don't find so many prayers. Bhagavatam is trying to give the association of all the great personalities. And the association of their personalities, not only just their life, but also how they pray to the Lord and their understanding of the Lord. So now suddenly somebody comes to you and says, okay, tell me about Lord Krishna. So we have a certain understanding of Lord Krishna and we explain that. How we are explaining? It is a theoretical understanding. We have not seen Krishna. Say now somebody is directly seeing Krishna and then he comes and explains to us, Are you know how Krishna looks? So that is the pratyaksha, like it is aprakrita, it is beyond our sense perceptions. So we have discussed this also, five types of vrittis. So now our present state of mind is we are disturbed by the externals. And because we are disturbed by the externals, we cannot perceive the reality. That means if a small water pond is there, if there are so many ripples on the top, it cannot reflect the moon properly. If it is very still water, then the moon is reflected properly. Similarly, for us, our mind is always so much disturbed. That's why we cannot, it's very distorted. We cannot see the reality properly. But somebody is very pure, he can see the reality and he is perceiving the reality. When he explains, that is the truth. So now we are hearing from Narada Muni and then Prabhupada also. What happens is we can also experience the same bhava of Prabhupada. Prabhupada is chanting the holy name, is getting eyes, tears in the eyes. By reading his purports, we can also experience the reality how Prabhupada is experiencing, and we can also experience the same feelings, emotions. So that's how it works. Like Prabhupada disciples, they were like so enthusiastic for preaching, and when they were associating with Prabhupada, they were associating so much 100%. And directly hearing from Prabhupada, and they were all experiencing the same mood of that intense preaching spirit. And eventually, ISKCON developed into a different. We also have that spirit, but not like what Prabhupada time had, because there was a direct experience from Prabhupada. So, why we have to hear prayer is to see how they are experiencing. And that's the only way we can come out of our conditioning. You may think, oh, prayer so boring. Actually, they are the wealth, they are not boring. because we are directly getting that this is direct knowledge. This is not. If I tell about Krishna, it is theory only because I didn't see him. But here they are seeing and talking. So we have to know the difference very clearly. It is not any speculation that is happening here. So vritti, like even scientists also, they have they what is it? They studied this and then they with their modern equipment they understood there is alpha, beta, gamma, and delta waves. So in alpha is where we are now awakened, which is very disturbed state. Then there is sleep, deep sleep, and meditative state. So they also understood that these are the waves, and waves are actually breathes. So when these acharyas they are speaking at a very samadhi state, the deepest state of the consciousness. So that is the challenge we have. So we have to appreciate the association which we are getting of Bhagavatam, and that's why, like some of Prabhupada disciples, like Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj and others, when they were in their final days and they are reading Prabhupada purports, they are getting ecstasies. You know, seen like one Isha Mataji, one I think one more Mataji, she was got paralyzed from the waist. She was bedridden. So she could only move her fingers and she was reading Prabhupada's purpose. And she said, oh, this is the first time I am getting so much absorption in it. And she was getting ecstasy. So, and local television people were also surprised how she can be so happy after she is in that painful state. Why? Because that is what is association means. It's not very superficial, it's very deep. And we will be able to know how much. That's the reason we need to know some meanings. Why all this endeavor is made by Prabhupada to write word to word meaning, so that we are able to understand what they are exactly talking about and we can get full association, full benefit. So here Narada Muni is praying. Even if we don't understand, repeating is also benefiting. We understand that is best. So we will again just recite few of the prayers. We'll start with Narmani. So Hanumanji prayed, Lakshmi is praying, and then two forms of Lakshmi. One Lakshmi praying Varahadev, one Lakshmi is praying to Kamdev, and then Bhadrashra is praying to Amsavatar and pray. So we have Lord Ram, Kim Purusha Varsha, Hari Varsha, Prahlad is praying. So it's a very great realizations. One is about the form of the Lord and their understanding about the material nature also. That is also very important to make a note of how they look at this world. Prahlad is telling family life is dangerous. Lakshmi is telling, Are no other person is can be husband, only your husband. And to Varahadev, she is telling, Are only supporter is you. Who can support? And Hanumanji is telling that in that he is telling, oh, association with wife and children, wife especially, is the cause of bond, is the cause of pain which Lord Rama underwent. So that is the realization they are getting, and it's very great realizations. And here we are seeing Narada Muni. So he says, Om Namo Bhagavate Upasama Shilayo परतानात्मज्ञाय नमो किंचन वित्ताय श्री ऋषभाय नरनारायणाय परमहंस परम गुरवे आत्मारामाधिपत्यये नमो नम इति. So this is the prayer. Actually, the prayers are the Ahuti mantras and where they do yajna and all, they take mantras from the Shastras only like this. If somebody feels very inspiring for some mantra, and if they want to get detachment, and then Naranarayan Rishi is, especially here, he will say that the Naranaran Rishi is very special because even though Indra sent so many beautiful women, he did not get attracted. And now we don't want to get attracted to certain form, shapes, and all here. Then they chant this Naranarayan mantra. And Naranarayan mantra is what Prahlad Narad Muni is giving us. So here, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Naranarayana, the best of saintly persons, the Supreme Lord, is the most self-controlled and self-realized. He is free from false prestige. He is the asset of people who have no material possession. He is spiritual master of all Paramahamsas, who is most exalted human being. He is the master of self-realization. Let me offer my respectful wishes. Now we'll see what is the theme of Narada Muni. He says that the most powerful saintly sage also worships Naranarayana by chanting the following mantra. So, what is the mantra they chant? Kritasaya sargadishu yo na badyate na hanyate dehagato api dikishai drishtirnadrikyasya gunair udasayet tasmai namo asakta vivikta sakshine. So, what exactly they want you see? The Supreme Lord is the master of creation, maintenance, and inflation of this visible cosmic manifestation, is completely free from false prestige. Although to the foolish he appear to have accepted material body like us, is unaffected by bodily tribulations like hunger, thirst, fatigue. Although he is the witness who sees everything, senses are unpolluted by the objects he sees. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto that unattached pure witness of the world, super soul, the personality of Godhead. So this is how they are looking at the Lord. They say that He is creating, maintaining. That means his body is not material. He will not be affected by what is happening to the body, like all of us are affected. Not only that, he is the he is unattached also and is witness also. Upadrishta Anumanta. So this is a very great quality. So we are not witnesses. We are actually affected by what is happening in the world. So this is the greatest challenge for us. And then we read this Idam hi yogeshwara yoga naipunam hiranyagarbho bhagavan jagadyata yadanta kali tvai nirgune mano bhaktaya dadito jita dushkalevaraha. My Lord, Master of all mystic yogas, this is the explanation of the yogic process spoken by Lord Brahma, who is self-realized. At the time of death, all yogis give up the material body with full detachment simply by placing their minds at your lotus feet. This is the perfection of yoga. So, this is what we all want to achieve. To Ante Narayana Smriti, Etavan Sankhya Yogabhyam Swadharma Parinishthaya. Janmalava Parapumsam Ante Narayana Smriti. Yataikamishmikakamalambata Suteshu Dhareshu Dhaneshu Chintayan Sanketa Vidvan Kukalevaratyayat Yastasya Yatnas Saramya Eva Kevalam Ashrama Eva Kevalam. Materialistic are generally attached to their present bodily comforts and to the bodily comforts they expect in the future. Therefore, they are always absorbed in thoughts of their wife, children, and wealth, and are afraid of giving up their bodies, which are full of stool and urine. If a person engaged in Krishna conscious service is also afraid of giving up his body, what is the use of his having labored to study the Shastras? It is simply a waste of time. Wow, such a nice verse. यथैकिलाकामुष्मिककामलं पट सुतेषु दारेषु धनेषु चिन्तयन् संकेत विद्वान् कुल कुक लेवरात्ययात् यस्तस्य यत्नः आश्रम एव केवलम्. So, Prabhupada writing, at the time of death, materialistic think of his wife and children, is absorbed in thinking of how they will live and who will take care of them after he leaves. This is actually the greatest illusion. Nobody is depending on us. Everybody is depending on Supreme Lord, and everybody is maintained by Supreme Lord. And what happens is they see that after the husband dies, some of the wife widowed, she has to work very hard and she has to go through so much tribulations, harassments, exploitation, and children are also very in a difficult state. So then that scene will make him feel that, oh, without me, my wife and children will also have the same thing. But it is not true in all cases. Other places, some are very quite normal. No? They live life normally and things are going for them normal. So some cases it is different. So uh, it's all actually maintained by the Lord only. If Lord wants, everything is perfect. So, but the illusion is there. Prabhupada writing, consequently, he never prepared to give up his body. Rather, he wants to continue to live in this body to serve his society, family, friendship, and so on. Therefore, by practicing the mystic yoga system, one must become detached from bodily relationship. If despite practicing bhakti yoga and studying all the Vedic literatures, one is afraid of giving up his bad body, which is the cause of his suffering, what is the use of his attempts? Sri Narottam Thakur says, Deha smriti nahi yara, samsara bandhana kahana tara. One whose practice have been free him from the anxieties of bodily needs is no longer in conditioned life. Such a person is free from the conditional bondage. A person in Krishna consciousness must fully discharge devotional service without material attachment, then his liberation is guaranteed. So, who has lived nicely, na, they don't fear of leaving the body. And we have seen many devotees also. They are happily preparing and leaving the body. They are not attached. They are till the last moment of their life, they want to serve. And when death comes, there is pain, but they are able to tolerate that pain and peacefully living the body and consciously living the body, some of them. So that is the most fortunate state to live the body consciously. You know that you are living the body and you are thinking, and you are not bothered of what is happening. And you know that is one of the greatest blessings. Tanna prabhotvam kula levararpitam तन्माययाहं ममतामदोक्षजा विघ्नाय वेनासु वयं सुधर्विधां विदेहि योगं द्वैनः सुभावमिति. Therefore, O Lord who transcends, kindly help me by giving us the power to execute Bhakti Yoga so that we can control our restless mind, fix them upon you. We are all infected by your illusory energy. Therefore, we are very attached to the body, which is full of stool and urine, and to anything related to the body except for devotional service. There is no way to give up this attachment. Therefore, kindly bestow upon us this benediction. So, very simple. Somebody want to come out of this situation, they have to recite the prayers that are sung by Narada Muni in this verse. So Lord advised in Bhagavad Gita, Manmana bhava madbhakto. Perfect yoga system is always thinking of Krishna. Unless we practice yoga system, our illusory attachment for this body, which is full of stool and urine, is impossible to give up. The perfection of yoga consists of giving up attachment for this body and bodily relationship and transferring that attachment to Krishna. We are very attached to material enjoyment, but when we transfer the same attachment to Krishna, we transfer the path of liberation, transfer the path of liberation. So, and he says, now the track of Bharata, as is Ilavata Varsha, there are many mountains and rivers. Some of mountains known as Malaya, Mangala Prashta, Meenaka, Trikuta, Rishabha, Kuta, Pollaka, Saha, Devagiri, Ras, Rishyamukhi, Sri Shaila, Venkata, Mahendra, Varidhara, Vindhya, Suktiman, Rikshagiri, Prariyatra, Drona, Chitrakuta, Govardhana, Raivataka, Kukubi, Neela, Gokhamukha, Indrakila, and Kamagiri. Besides this, there are many other hills with many large and small rivers flowing from their top slopes. Two of the rivers. So now Parikshit Maharaj, sorry, Sudhe Goswami is explaining about the Bharata Varsha, is describing it. Completed the prayers of Narada Muni and explaining the geography now. Two rivers, the Brahmaputra and Somar, called Nadas or main rivers. There are many other great rivers that are very prominent. Chandravasa, Tamraparni, Kota, Kovatoda, Kritamala, Vihayasi, Kaveri, Veni, Payasvini, Shikravati, Tungabhadra, Krishnaveni. Actually, hearing the names only will purify our consciousness. That's why we have to hear the names of these great rivers. Bhimarati, Godavari, Nirvithaya, Poshani, Tapi, Reva, Surasa, Narmada, Charmavati, Mahanadi, Vedasmriti, Rishikulya, Trisama, Kukshiki, Mandakini, Yamuna, Saraswati, Grisha, Gomati, Sarayu, Rodaswati, Saptavati, Susoma, Satadrut, Chandrabhaga, and Marudvidha, Vidasa, Vitatsa, Kshini, and Vishwa. The inhabitants of Bharatavarsha are purified because they always remember these rivers. See, just remembering only is pure. Sometimes they chant the names of these rivers as mantras, and sometimes they go directly to the rivers to touch them and bathe in them. Thus, the inhabitants of Bharatavarsha becomes purified. Prabhupada, all these rivers are transcendental. Therefore, one can be purified by remembering them, touching them, or bathing in them. This practice is still going on. The people who take bath in this track of birth in the track of Lord are divided according to the qualities of material modes. The mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Some of them are born as exalted personalities, some are ordinary human beings, some are abominable. For in Bharata Varsha, one takes birth exactly according to one's past karma. If one position is ascertained by a bona fide spiritual master and one is properly trained to engage in the service of Lord according to the four divisions, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Brahmachari, Grihastha. So this is how the system is. So this Varnashrama Acharavat Purushena Parapuma. The purpose is giving that purpose is to all the system, the purpose is to please the Lord. And after many, many births, when the results of unpious activities mature, one gets an opportunity to associate with a pure devotee, then one is able to cut the knot of bondage to ignorance, which bond him because of varied fruitive activities. As the result of association with devotees, one gradually renders service to the Lord, who is transcendental, free from attachment to the material world, beyond the minor words, and independent of everything. That bhakti yoga, devotional service to Lord Vasudev, is the real path of liberation. So here it is said that after many birth of pious activity, but it is because of mercy of devotees only it happens. So many births of pious activity will take a person to higher planetary systems. And if he performs more, then he may go to Janaloka, Maharloka. Once you person reaches Janaloka, he the always the possibilities he will only go up. Very less likely. Abrahma Bhuvanar Loka, Punaravarta, it is said that Brahmaloka also people come, but it is less chances that he will come. After Janaloka, they go up. They are not interested in this level of happiness. So basically, say somebody has uh, like he has lived in a very luxurious and very posh locality in US, and very few people want to come back to India, some third world nations, and want to settle back. They got used to that type of comforts and luxury. They'll stay back. There will be very less chances that they will be able they want to come. Of course, some people who are having some attachment to Matrubhumi, Bharatvarsh, and they may come. But if you increase the comforts, 100 times, and in that places, and if they have enjoyed that type of security, comforts, and all, they will never want to come back to third world nations. Same thing. So after going to Janaloka, very less likely that people want to experience the lower pleasures of what is happening in the even heavenly planets. Pleasure also is very cheap for them. They not come. So, but here what is said that is uh, in that way also they can be elevated. But in Bharatavarsha, it is not because of just pious maturity, it is because of Sukriti. Then he is getting. Bhavunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate. So in that way, Bhavunam Janmanam, if he is practicing for many lifetimes very seriously Jnana Marga, he will come to Krishna consciousness. But the point here is that we are given, like Prabhupada was asked by devotees in the West in the beginning times, what was our qualification? Prabhupada said, you don't have any qualification. I made you qualified. So for bhakti, it is no qualification, only mercy of a devotee. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is delivering the animals in Jharkhand. What is their qualification? No qualification. They already got a body of animal that proves that they did not do any good activity in past. So the point is that we have to know how important is devotees' intervention in our life. We also do the same. Brahman realization, the beginning of liberation, Paramatma realization still further advanced towards the realm of liberation. But one achieves real liberation when he understands his position as eternal servant of Krishna. Muktir hitva anyata rupam swarupena vyavasthiti. So, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. So, this is the point here. एतद् हि देवग्वायति गायन्ति. So now what are the devatas singing? Aho amesham kim akari sobhanam prasanna yesham svit uta swayam hari ye janmalabdham vishu jare मुकुंद सेवा पैकम spruhahinah. Since the human form of life is sublime position for the spiritual realization, all the demigods in heaven speak in this way. How wonderful it is for these and have human beings to have been born in the land of Bharatavarsha. They must have executed pious acts of austerity in the past, or the Supreme Lord himself must have been pleased with them. Otherwise, how could they engage in devotional service in so many ways? We demigods can only aspire to achieve human births in Bharatavarsha to execute devotional service, but these human beings are already engaged in this. So, very important. What happens is for demigods, it is any part of the creation you can perform bhakti. That should be clear. Even Swargapavarga Narkeshu Apitulyar, even in hell also one can do devotional service. But problem is with our mind. Our mind needs a conducive environment. Otherwise it get distracted. Say now in front of us so many varieties of food items are kept. Chappan Bhog is there. And then we are told, okay, today is Nirjala Ekadasi, you do Nirjal. How much difficult it is. After seeing Chappan Bhog, you have to do Nirjala, right? So that is the challenge for heavenly planets. They have so much pleasure in front of them, and they are told, okay, for bhakti. So their mind cannot concentrate. Like we are uh, given nice mango juice and some nice prasadam is there, and we told, okay, chant your 16 notes, then you will get your prasadam. And we'll say, I will do it. First feed me, then I'll chant. So for us, it's a great distraction. So mind can do bhakti, but we get tempted for the pleasures that are available. That is the problem with the heavenly situation. And when we go down, hellish situation is the problem is excessive pain. Or sometimes we are going through so much tribulation, somebody comes with Prabhuji chant Hare Krishna. We feel that is not practical. Array, I am going through so much problem and no, I got married. I am in so much problems. And this fellow is telling to child. And somebody is getting divorced. He may be happy, he may be sad also. So he is going through some situation. Then we give a solution like that. It's actually not very easy. So now problem is not with bhakti. Bhakti can be practiced. He is not able to handle it. So that is the state. That's why Bharatavarsha is considered very conducive in the sense that both pleasure and pain are very given in a very less quantity. That is the reason you can focus. Compared to heaven is too much pleasure, hellish plans too much suffering. And our mind cannot take extremes. It needs something in between. So there is not so much pleasure also here in Bharatavarsha and not so much extreme hellish suffering also. We are given in between. And that's why we can concentrate, and not only that, we are able to uh, very fast progress very fast in less time. So that is the advantage of bhakti. The absorption becomes very fast, progress is very fast, and less time we can make out. Whereas heavenly pleasures, it takes long time. So that's why they say, Array, like we see some people who are hippies, they got association of Prabhupada. They got so much absorption in Krishna. At the end of life, they were thinking of Krishna living body. And it just happened in 40, 50 years. Finish. And here, heavenly planets, demigods are staying for lakhs of years and they are stuck. And here, some living entity in Bharatavarsha, he got a human body and not very pious because we are born in human. Bharatavarsha means it is we have some piety, but not as much as heavenly planets. So they did so much piety, they went to heavenly planets. But here, some person he didn't do anything. Just for few years he meditated on Krishna and he went back to God. So then they will immediately feel, Nare, what are we doing here? So when they're in their good sense, then they start offering this such prayers that, oh, really, we could have got something better. And that is the risk also because Prabhupada movement is there for 10,000 years. And in case we end up going to heaven, then we will miss. the opportunity to go to Goloka. So that is the reason with management. If somebody is in management and he's doing very nice devotional service, he's constructing temple for Lord, and he is doing so much book distribution and all. But if there is a tendency to commit some offenses, he is offending somebody. So instead of going up, he may end up in Swargaloka because he starts enjoying his opulence. Oh, he start enjoying his power and opulence. Then he will end up in heavenly planets. That's why Prabhupada says some of them disciples may go to heavenly planets. So the risk is because of this only. And if you end up in heavenly planets, then it's so dangerous. If somebody takes again birth in the family of devotees, 4 or 5 times, we have 10,000 years time. But the risk is what? More and more Kali Yuga progresses, the the chances of like the distractions are so much. And even though the method is very fast and we have access for everything, previously, if we want to hear from saintly people, we have to travel all the way to any ashram, then sit in front of him and hear. Or in case the holy person comes to your village once in a year, twice in a year, you get opportunity to hear from. Now we don't have such issues. Open our mobile and then open ISKCON Desire and we can hear from so many sadhus. But problem is when you open mobile, there are so many other things also they are there in that, which will distract us and make us go away from Krishna. So as Kali Yuga progresses, access to like Bhaktivinoda Thakur took 6 years to find the original Chaitanya Charitamrita. For us, it's just a few seconds. We have Chaitanya Charitamrita. And to understand things also, now we have artificial intelligence, which will make you understand everything so easily. So for us, facilities are there, distractions are there. So Kali Yuga progresses, we get so much facilities, we get distracted also. So somebody want to make progress, he can make. But he don't want, he is caught up. So this is the great challenge. But what is the advantages? For heavenly planet people also to understand Krishna is Supreme Lord is difficult. This is serious. They also don't understand that Krishna is Supreme Lord. They also stuck with something else. So demigods who are in charge of their planets, they know that Krishna is Supreme Lord, but not the people who are staying inside. That is like Yanti Devrata Devan Prithvi Yanti Prithivata. So, like say somebody is going to a demigod planet and they are meditating on the demigod and they are going there. Now, for the demigod who is there in that planet, na, he don't get association of any pure devotees. He will get the association of all his followers. So he feels, array, what a bad association. So for us, there is an advantage. And they don't know all the people in heavenly planets, Krishna is Supreme Lord. Because they are stuck up with some demigods, some rituals, and all these things. So how fortunate we are to know who is Supreme Lord. Even Bhrugumuni had a even the sages are confused. What to speak of demigods? Even sages are confused who is Supreme Lord. That's why Bhrugumuni is actually represented by all the uh, people. So he was represented by all the uh, sages to find out who is the supreme. That means you see how tough it is. But for us, it is very easy. For us to, we all know who is supreme. Not only us, even other than ISKCON, outside people also, many of them know. So Kali Yuga, na, access is very easy. But after knowing who is supreme, they are not interested in self-realization. That is the problem with the Kali Yuga living entities. We all know theoretically what is right, and we cannot practice it. In previous ages, theoretically they don't know, but whatever they know, they can practice it. That is the advantage. If they know that one prayer they are hearing, oh, what is this material world? You should take up to spiritual realization. Once they hear that, They say, yes, yes. I was never knowing it. And they leave the family house and go to the forest and go for self realization. It may look, "Arey, how is it just one preaching and this fellow gave up everything?" Because if they know they practiced, it was like that. In Kali Yuga, we know everything. We cannot practice only. So there are advantages. So demigods are thinking, "Arey, how fortunate they are. They get so much access." And we, even though heavenly planet, they also can get access, but they get distracted. Like, like we we want to hear some lecture on YouTube, and there are so many other things that are coming in YouTube. Immediately they distract us. So that's how the whole system works. So here, Gopal is going to a very nice purport. One has taken birth in human being in land of Bharata should make his life successful. There are many facilities in India. Bharata Varsha for executing devotional service. Bharata Varsha, all the acharyas contributed their experience. You see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally appeared to teach the people of Bharata Varsha how to progress spiritually and be fixed in devotional service. From all point of view, Bharata Varsha is a special land where one can very easily understand the purpose of devotional service and adopt it to make his life successful. If one makes his life successful in devotional service, then preaches devotional service in other parts of the world, people throughout the world will actually benefit. So this is the formula that is there. I know how fortunate the we are to take birth, and that too after Krishna appeared and after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared and after Prabhupada appeared. So the timing is so nice for us. The most fortunate of all the times we are born. In this, so any questions, comments? You know. Okay. Thank you all very much. Turantrash.